You are listening to Alaska After Dark, internet radio for Nightclimbed.
We're talking to my guest, Stefan Henderson, Patriarch of Clan Resurrectus.
I think he is.
I'm your king.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
You don't vote for kings?
What defined a leader in the 90s?
There were a couple of things at the time, and saying that popularity was at least a litmus paper was true. The more people you knew, the more influence you had. And that went both ways. I would say that being known, not just for who you were, but being known and what you could do as far as monetarily. Basically, it's the old golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. And that's kind of the way it was in the 90s. There was a lot of people that would rise up and put on events and balls and stuff like that, and suddenly that made them a leader. And unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily make you a good leader. But that's the way things were. And then you had the other side of the coin of people that were considered leaders that didn't consider themselves leaders, that maintained havens for people, that would teach people, that would pass on information and knowledge. And they were seen as more of the elders. So you had kind of the elder side of leadership, and then you had more of the popularity side of leadership. And that was more of the defining point back then. If I compare today to the way things were back then, you didn't come into the VC in 6 months or a year and suddenly be declared a leader or an elder or anything like that. In fact, if you tried, you were going to get blasted badly. So a lot of that didn't happen back then. And it's interesting how I think some things have relaxed over the years, and not necessarily in a good way.
I could use leadership qualities. You can say that again.
In your opinion, which is the better leader, the elder leader or the popular leader?
That's an interesting question. To say that those are the only two intrinsic qualities is kind of a falsehood. In my opinion, we need both. And I say that because we live our lives day to day, most of us hiding what we are and only interacting on that level with others like us. And we need a place to go blow off steam and just be around people we like. You need the entertainment side of it. You do. So being the popular kid in school, so to speak, has its perks, has its meanings. We need stuff like that. On the other hand, it's kind of the difference between eating junk food and eating proper food. If that's all you do, you're not going to develop properly. We need the eldership side of leadership. We need people that are grounded. We need people that are going to be there. When you're having trouble at 3 a.m, who are you going to call? Are you going to call the popular kid, or are you going to call the person you know that's going to answer the phone? So it's a balance, and it's a very good question. It's really a hard question to answer without going off in different directions. But I believe that we're reaching a point to where we need more true eldership leadership. We have grown so much that without it, all we're doing is throwing a big party. Yes, we need the popular figures, but we need real people. And if I'm going to cast a ballot, it's going to be for the real people.
Now, you would think that the real people can arrange events as easy as a popular one.
You're seeing more and more of that. Like I said, the events in NOLA during October have become a real stay for us. We expect them now. But to have events elsewhere that other leaders and elders put on, I'm starting to see more of that. For example, the Vampire Court of Dallas this year threw one. And my understanding was it was an event to see. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. HVC over in Houston has thrown balls and events, which is a good thing. My understanding is also down in South Georgia, Augusta area, they throw little events for the community at large in that area. I'm not familiar with what they do a little farther north, but I agree more people can do more things. It doesn't have to come down to one or two people. It's very strenuous, and I look forward to seeing what people are going to do in the future. I think more people are getting on that bandwagon. Unfortunately, I think some of the earlier events that were being set up, while the idea was to put on a good event and a fun event, I do believe that it was monetarily motivated, to say the least. I've seen some of the leaders that have put on events on both sides of the coin. Some that kind of just direct things and go out and be social butterflies, and then I've seen the other side of it where the people are exhausted. And you got to have a balance. You can't do it all on your own. There's just no way.
Mischief, lies, and misconduct has gotten Tommy in trouble again. Mr. Brown can't help but be disappointed in him. Tommy should know that leadership is about taking responsibility, not making excuses. And one of the leadership qualities that defines a good leader is honesty.
We have some exceptionally good leaders out there today, and then we have some that are so-so, and then we have some that are just piss poor. And that's just the facts. The problem with leadership is a problem that anyone else would face. They can't look themselves in the mirror, and yes, we appear in mirrors. They can't look at themselves and see flaws.
Is that more on touching on the whole narcissism?
Definitely so. We have leaders out there that they use the people in the VC and people that want to be in the VC. They see them as a potential source of income. I've seen it personally. I have actually been calling one person out for the last 30 years. I have yet to hear from them, by the way. In fact, I've even been in the same room with them and they haven't had the balls to say anything, which I guess is that whole online, offline thing.
And you can't hint who that is.
No, we're not going to go there. But the point being is that I was trying to help a girl who had been awakened over in Alabama. She was not even viable as far as finances. She was a single mother, and she did approach this one person, and she was wanting to form a house there in Alabama. And this person said, buy my book. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Wow, really? That was a real personal touch there. Buy my book, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. Now, on that one, I'm going to send this out, and I don't really care. Shove your book up your ass and light fire to it. You're not even really one of us.
Let's have that 800 number. Excellent.
Just call this number and we'll send you this free booklet.
This is like having your own research library at home.
Yes.
There have been some amazing books written that are out there that I fully endorse. The Vampire Codex by Michelle Belanger. She and I used to talk quite a bit back in the day, not so much now. She's a busy person. But the Vampire Codex, we have a copy of it in our house. There's great information in there, and it's worth every penny. But if all you're going to do is throw balls and sell books and do things like that for no other reason to make yourself look good and make money off of people that you could very easily have a conversation with, then that makes you a piece of shit in my eyes. Period. That's what starts separating the real leaders, the real elders, from those that are the popular elders. Popular elder isn't, I'm not going to say they wouldn't do something to help somebody, but if someone's hurting and you see it and you don't do something, then that's on you.
So a popular elder, I'm just going to guess, is if it makes them look good, they'll do something?
More or less. I put it this way. There are people out there that will help certain people if it serves their needs. They're very Machiavellian. If it serves their purposes. And then there are some people that do so because they have a heart, and that's the difference. There's always people out there that are going to be, there's I would liken it unto a parable that Jesus spoke of, that there was the Pharisee who went into the temple with his robes and his gold and everything else, making the huge contributions and making a public statement of how great his faith is. And then there was the poor guy that was over with his face down, beating his chest, saying, have mercy on me, sinner that I am. And he asked, which one needs to be exalted? Is it this guy who's got everything and is making a big show of it? Or the guy that's over to himself who realizes who he really is? That's that people hate it when you pull stuff out like that, but I could pull it out of any book. I could pull it out of any religious text with the same example. That boils down to politics. When you think about it, we don't vote for the people that are real. We vote for the people that make the biggest show.
Well, yeah.
So they make promises they don't keep all the time. Are we any different? Are leaders any different in the community? Really?